Hello everybody, it is Alnight, it's Brony time, and welcome back to Let's Play Dual Destinies. When we last left off, we talked to Ponko, and we also talked to Detective Fulbright. We revealed kind of the overarching story behind this. We learned of this phantom from 7 years ago that supposedly is behind the whole Dark Age of the Law, how there's been some little bits of corruption going around surrounding this rocket launch, and now we're talking to Simon Blackwell's older sister, who is a baddie. So, let's continue. So, you're the person who witnessed the incident. That's right, I was on the 4th floor of the main building, in the robotics lab. The explosion disabled the elevators, so I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective. Oh, sorry, I thought it said Athena. Why do all the names in this game have to start with A? God dang it. The explosion disabled the elevators, so I lowered the emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? Must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor her here. Then, as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge one window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it. So you saw the crime as it happened, and that's about it. I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? This is no time to just nod and repeat. So you saw into the 3rd floor lounge. The very scene of the crime. That's right. There's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand, and a knife in their right. I must have been the culprit. Did you see who that person was? Of course not. The power was out on that floor then, and there was only that tiny window. I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder. Yes, I saw the figure with the lighter raised, their knife, and... It happened at precisely 10 a.m. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? I already told you it was pitch black in there. Although, I did notice the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. It looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little Earth emblem. They had good taste in knickknacks, anyway. An Earth emblem on the lighter. Better remember that. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence with it. Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me? Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry, I just detest lawyers, that's all. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just an instinctive dislike. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Why do you hate lawyers so much? Little thing from my past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people aren't perfect. They lie. They're influenced by silly emotions. Can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better. Even sad sacks like this one. Hey you, look alive there! Yeah, yes, here I go! I am the ultimate robot. I cannot get evacuated in extreme heat. We will watch for the world. Now's the time to rise to revolt. Alright, that's enough out of you. Getting a little too carried away. Yeah, what was I doing? Yep, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them. Unlike humans with their petty emotions and constant worries. How can you say such things? Feeling emotions, worrying about the things we care about, that's what makes us human. Well, the girl finally talks, and she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human, you mean? Getting angry and snorting like that? Rational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind. Can I punch her, boss? Get a hold of yourself, Athena. Humans certainly are absurd. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system, So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system. What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial, because I'd much rather kill them myself. You can't be serious. That thing you're wearing around your neck. Oh, this? Around Athena's neck? Does she mean Widget? Oh, I get it. Well, well. Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle. Her royal what is she talking about? Her royal what? Is she talking about Athena? By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is going to be the star witness at court tomorrow, right? Director Cosmos? Yes, that's right. You poor things. You better be careful. That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What? He might seem like a bigwig, but the center has all kinds of problems. He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. But it's your problem, so why should I care? What? That's it? No friendly tips? No good luck, guys? Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, hunk of junk. Sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you alright, Athena? You seem very down. I just can't believe she said all those things. Wow, she's really upset. She been trying to not let it show all this time? Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. You mean that whole dark age of the law nonsense? I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all we can do is believe in what we're doing. Yeah, you're right, boss. I agree. Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Good idea. We should tell him about the bullet and Miss Blackwell's statement. Alright then, next stop, the detention center. My lawyers are here. Must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're going to let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person. I should have known. My stars never align just right, too. But we gotta lead to Mr. Starbuck. The murder had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. A lighter with an Earth emblem? Oh! Did you remember something? Yep, I sure did. Just a little bit, though. Anything at all would be a help, so please tell us what you remembered. I thought I was unconscious the whole time. But now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. That's huge! Do you remember seeing anything? A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow. That must have been the third party we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more help than you know. If we can prove there was this third person at the scene, and that they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion. The key will be whether or not we can identify the third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Relevant evidence tidied up. Now that we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. How do we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance? For someone who's highly empathetic, it can be surprisingly unsympathetic. So, you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy. Well, it's one step forward, anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is. Now let's get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote is for Eldune's noodles. Oh, Apollo? What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine, and I'm done lying around. Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here. Thanks, but that's not an option. Not for me. Apollo. You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo. I don't want you overdoing it. I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man. Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress? A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer. A suspicious figure, huh? Right. I thought you'd be happier than that. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. I fully intend to see Clay's murder apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo? That's right. Best friend since junior high. Sounds like me and Junie. So what was Clay like? Well, he was full of compassion and energy. He had a really loud voice. If the two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd break a few windows. You know, I bet you're right. Seems like only yesterday, Clay was a guy who lived for dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He's going to be an astronaut, and me, a lawyer. We talked well into the night, and even then we never grew tired of it. Apollo, about that jacket. Oh, it's Clay's. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat 2 mission. He always looked so proud wearing it. But just when his dream was finally coming true, I still can't believe it. Damn it, it's not fair! Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone. Guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. Guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me, but Cray refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. It was right during his screening exams, too. I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. So, excuse me. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? You're fine and I'm fine. Or like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mom passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night, I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Mom, Mom, get away, Apollo. Don't come over here. Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either. Huh? I always think everybody else has a mom. Why am I the only one? But, you know, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, I'm fine! And then, you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine! Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Okay. Clay Turan is fine! There you go. Now we're both fine. We're fine! We're fine! What are you laughing about? See? We're fine. You laughed first. I'm fine. You're fine. We're both fine. Thanks, Apollo. When you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck? Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. But what? Wait, what do you mean by a leave? You're really serious. Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. But that's our goal too! I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. The truth, huh? That's a noble cause. What if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life. In my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. I must be going. Goodbye. Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sensed a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion. He's not walking out on us like this. I'm going to talk some sense into him. Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. And if we take different paths, the truth we arrive at should be the same. That the quicker we solve this case, the better it'll be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I just hope things really do turn out fine tomorrow. To trial! I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something. Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs, I promise. Oh yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I mean, first a courtroom exploded. Then Mr. Tonate self-destructed. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tonate. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tonate's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense? Do you have an understanding of what has happened in this trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time? Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Tehran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. Excuse me. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? On further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Stoner's argument was correct. So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect. Just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. That accursed fellow. He killed my witness. He killed Detective Arm. He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. Sorry, Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell's the thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues there was a third person in the lounge and that's who killed the victim. To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man, or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge, or have you gone dotty already? Old man. We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person! I see my sister has been running a mouth. That's right, I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. No matter, she didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there's no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if the third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Director Cosmos, huh? Very well, bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. Of course you have. Of course you have. For I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. 7 years ago, I successfully launched the Half-1 Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I'm trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? Ha ha ha! I see this fine young man has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my fucking testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history. That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now sounded more like to me he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head. Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Terran lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the figure standing must have been Mr. Starbuck. I see. So in your testimony claim, you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge, and just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror, the humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger, risking my own life for theirs. I love how he's got what looks like what is it, a Mario star on there? Well, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men. Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else. How do you know that, though? Laura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. She gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Tehran, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Isn't that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck is the type of man who's capable of murder. Objection! When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. So that doesn't mean there's no third person there at some point. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director? Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Tehran were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. You mean they disappeared? That's all. Objection! The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witness weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness. Dude, you really do have a vendetta against him. You are grasping at straws. Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off of the scene? Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape. Objection! All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof? Well, you don't have any proof either. Oh my god. If we're just talking possibilities, we would each profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and a lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't have any proof yet, still. Southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes? Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? Ha ha ha! There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arm shot a figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer. I don't know about that. Were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. And we will continue this next time on Dual Destinies. We are at time. Blackwell is a little desperate. I think he really does have a vendetta against Mr. Starbuck. But we will get to the bottom of that next time. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Brony Time for more content, especially more Dual Destinies. Also, make sure to share this video far and wide so we can get as many eyes on the series as possible. I will see you all next time.